All right, and we're back with another webinar for you. Welcome, everybody, to the How to Increase Landing Page Conversion Rate with Website Feedback webinar. And if we haven't met, my name is Maciek, and I'm the Digital Customer Success Manager here at Survicate. And together with my colleague Tom, who you will get a chance to meet a little later, we'll be going over some awesome insights and strategies to help you maximize the impact of your landing pages. But before we get into that, some quick housekeeping. If you've registered, the good news is that we're recording this webinar, so you'll get your copy after the fact. That way, if you feel like you've missed anything, you can always check back whenever you want. Also, we'll be holding a 15-minute Q&A session at the end, so feel free to write in your questions whenever you want in the chat pertaining to today's topic, with a heavy emphasis on today's topic. So thank you for doing that. Here's how our rundown's looking for today. First, a quick rundown of what conversion rate is and why it matters. That'll take us into what Survicate is. After that, Tom will be joining us to fill us in on some of the biggest challenges of landing page optimization and how you'll utilize website feedback to address some of those challenges. To bring this all this together, I'll fill you in on how you can analyze and prioritize the feedback that you'll be gathering. And to wrap up, as mentioned, we'll finish up with a 15-minute Q&A session. Don't forget to type in your questions in the chat box. Thank you. Let's get this started. So, first thing is first, in order to properly tackle this business challenge of increasing landing page conversion rate, I think it's a great idea first to answer the question of what is conversion rate? Why does it even matter? To put it simply, it's a crucial metric used by all industries to measure the percentage of people who take a desired action. And of course, this will vary depending on what your business goals are, right? Uh, for some, it might mean making a purchase. For others, it'll mean signing up for a newsletter or simply even completing a contact form. And how we calculate this is by simply taking the total number of users who have completed an action and divided it by X. And X in this case is whatever your measurement of traffic is. For this example, we're using website visitors, and then we multiply that by 100. As an example, let's pretend we're looking to see how many people sign up for our free trial on our landing page using our sign up form. So 50 people signed up, but we had 150 visitors. So we divide 50 by 150 and multiply that by 100. And if we've done the math correctly, our conversion rate is, in this instance, would come out to 33.3%. That's all there is to it. And why does that even matter, right? We know what conversion rate is now and how to calculate it, but why does it even matter? Let's go over the most important reasons as to why it should matter to you. First and foremost, the conversion rate lets you measure the effectiveness of your current marketing strategies. So, for example, this means you get to peek in and see how well you're doing in terms of turning potential customers into actual customers, right? And this ultimately feeds into revenue generation. And that's because the higher your conversion rate is, the more customers are taking desired action, such as making a purchase. This in turn leads to increased sales and revenue, while at the same time understanding your conversion rate allows you to allocate resources far more efficiently, right? And this brings us to customer insights. Analyzing your conversion rate provides you with insights into customer behavior and perhaps even more importantly, into their pain points, which you will use to refine your marketing strategies, enhance the user experience, and tailor content and offerings to meet your customers' needs. And with all of these insights, you get a chance to close the feedback loop, right? Because you create better campaigns with better conversion rates, meaning you're converting a lot more or covering, you're covering a lot more ground and not leaving any money on the table. So this brings us to landing page conversion rate. Hopefully by now you've gotten a better understanding of the importance of conversion rate, but I want to show you what it looks like when it comes to landing pages. So first of all, what do we even call a landing page? Usually, it's a website that's designed with a single focus or goal in mind. And this is why landing pages are one of the best options for increasing conversion rates. The focus of it can be anything from lead generation to sales to signing up for an event or even downloading I don't know, your latest app or ebook. And while the landing page is the go to for industry experts for the reasons above, using website feedback surveys is also a great way to help you improve landing page conversion rates. Essentially, what you're doing is you're collecting additional information about your site visitors, and with that information, you'll turn to dish out and personalize campaigns and follow-ups that truly connect with your audience, right? Helping you improve the conversion rate down the line. Now, my colleague Tom will be joining us in a little bit to help you understand the true effectiveness of surveys in this scenario. So stick around, you don't want to miss this. And speaking of surveys, Survicate. If you've been tasked with increasing conversion rate within your business, there's no better place to start. Okay. Ultimately, Survicate makes the entire process of gathering customer feedback and acting on it a breeze. It's easy to get started. You can create surveys in minutes by yourself or using one of our 400 plus expertly designed templates. So you have no excuses, right? There's no, oh, I don't know how to do it. We have templates. We'll take care of it. You can easily integrate your favorite tools with it to automate your workflows using our platforms as well. So if you're running a service or have a digital product and are looking for an effortless software for getting continuous customers insights at scale, give us a try. It's free to get started, and the trial is pretty badass. It's not one of those like cheesy free trials. You actually get to explore our platform with all of the business plan features, meaning you can truly see if it's the right fit for you. Give it a try. All right, let's talk about the challenges of landing page optimization. Without a doubt, optimizing your landing page is crucial because it directly impacts the experience your visitors will have with your page and thus playing into the likelihood of them converting, right? Or doing whatever action you want them to do on that page. Something Tom will go into shortly, I believe, also is first impression. A well optimized landing page can make a positive first impression, and this builds, of course, trust and credibility, once again, increasing the chances of conversion. And of course, content and design relevance of your landing page. So if it aligns with their expectations, they are more likely to stick around and actually commit to the action you need them to take. Now, how about I bring Tom into this and he can expand a little more on what we've been talking about? Take it away, Tom.
Hey Machi, thanks for having me here on this webinar today. Hello everyone. Guys, it's a pleasure to be here. I was brought in mostly because of two things. So just to give you a quick introduction so you know who's talking to you and who will be talking to you throughout the majority of presentation is that my name is Tom, as Machi said, and at Survicate, I take care of our current customers, help them to achieve success, help them to really use surveys to uncover areas that they might be struggling with and basically give voice to their visitors, leads, customers so they can make changes and improvements to their product based on customer or visitor or leads inputs, right? That's the first thing. And another thing, why specifically for this topic about conversion, is that we've been tasked not so long ago with trying to understand a little bit more about digital marketer struggles and areas they focus on. And the thing that was laid on me is exactly a low visitor to lead conversion rate. So I was a part of a team digging more into that topic, getting more information to ultimately bring you this presentation right here. So that's where I'm coming from. That's my background. I hope that's going to be okay with you guys to sit here for a while and listen to me. And what we've got here on display today is that we're going to talk about three areas. So we're talking about a high bounce rate, we're talking about visitor behavior, and then optimizing your content. And I want to start with high bounce rate because I feel that this is the easiest to address, but also quite impactful. To get you started with the bounce rate, I feel it's really crucial to understand what we understand by high bounce rate, right? And what we've got here, what we uncovered during that research are a couple of areas that we want to talk today. So first and foremost, right, we're talking about unclear call to action, meaning if I am jumping on the page and I want to browse something, I want to find some ways to sign up for a newsletter, create a free account, or maybe download some white paper, and I find it very difficult to do, it might be very easy for me to just close the page, right? Especially if you're in the industry that there are so many competitors, it might be very easy for me to just let go and move on. Same story, and this also comes with a complex navigation, right? If I find it very difficult to navigate to the site, to get from point A to point B in what I would expect a simple way, again, it's going to generate a high bounce rate. I can add here an extra bonus about the long time to load the site. Nowadays, when we are opening a site, we are expecting it's going to be done like this instantly. And if it takes long, even like 3 to 5 seconds, it definitely can make me say, okay, forget about that. They don't optimize the website for me to for it to load quite quicker, so it might generate a conception that, yeah, if they don't do that, they probably don't care about their product as well. I know it's a bad concept, bad idea to perceive, but that's pretty much the reality of things. And the final one, right? We're talking about mobile friendly. Nowadays, we are commuting a lot, and we want to see something very quickly on our smartphones, right? When we're whipping up that from our pocket, and we need to make sure that if I'm going to read something on that small screen and navigate using my thumb, I just want to make sure it's going to be easy for me to do. So a lot of websites, if they fail in that area, they might be failing in converting people that are always on the go. And we're talking about, either sales reps, or we're talking about managers that are always on the go, moving from one meeting to another, having only a few extra minutes to spare. So if you notice that that's the problem, that's definitely a thing that needs to be addressed. And I like to think about those in the form of a handshake, right? It needs to feel right. I mean, if you're shaking hands and something is off, the whole experience may be botched only by that very simple interaction. But first and foremost, right, understanding the reasons, we also need to understand and benchmark if we have a real problem. Because here's the thing, the difference in bounce rate from industry to industry can be as big as 20%, right? So we are looking here at huge differences like between SaaSes and between retails. And you need to first and foremost just take it to Google and do your due diligence to understand if this is really the issue, if the bounce rate is abnormal, or maybe it's in standard. It's very easy to look at the statistics and say, yeah, we're getting a huge bounce rate, but maybe that's actually an average for your industry. If it is not, however, then I feel that we definitely have ways to understand that. And well, here's a question. Because we're talking about a high bounce rate, how can you really know what's going on here? And the easiest solution we can think of is going to be called surveys that are triggered by exit intent. Now, a quick explanation. What we understand by exit intent is that if I am moving my cursor away from your page and I'm about to close that site, or I'm about to open up a new tab, or maybe I'm just about to close the browser altogether, this is an exit intent. You probably experienced that yourself when you were shopping online and you were about to move your cursor away. There was a huge banner like 20, 50, 25% off, sign up to a newsletter, etc. Use this code. Now, as exit intent goes, we want to make sure it's going to be a very simple survey. Because of all of that experience from online shopping, we are a little bit numb to the whole process. If there's a pop-up, we usually say like, yeah, whatever, I'm going to close it anyways. So we need to bring the attention of a customer to this particular survey box, if you will, and ask a very to-the-point question. And here on the display, I want you to take a look at the survey structure, right? We're asking a very simple thing. We're asking, Why did you decide to leave our site? And we're not giving complex answers. We're not asking them to fill the box and write this on their own. We're giving them options so they can spend maybe a few seconds, give the answer, and leave. Really important note here is that you probably will not see a lot of people commenting, sorry, will not see a lot of people giving you feedback, and that is the nature of exit intents. From like 1,000 people coming through your site, maybe a handful will actually appreciate the survey and give a time and commit to answering that. But that's actually good. I mean, the idea is that even one person voicing their concern could be voicing them for hundreds of others that are being silent, right? And this is the thing that definitely should be put in mind, that even a small number, small batch of feedback is still better than no feedback at all. And here, if you look at those questions, as they are very general, right? I changed my mind. I was just browsing. I already bought this elsewhere. Bought this elsewhere. Now, you see, this is not giving you super detailed view, but this is giving you at least an area that you should observe and have a closer look. Those are the areas that you might consider um, and areas to look a little bit more closer, to analyze those that content, analyze the behavior, analyze everything else around the answer, so that you can obviously formulate a hypothesis and try to solve for that hypothesis. Now, this was the part about high bounce rate, but we obviously can go a little bit more deeper. And by saying deeper, I mean we're going with more advanced survey, and this is for landing page optimization for user behavior. So again, just to be on the same page with you guys, website obviously a primary source for gathering leads, right? If there's a visitor, the primary purpose of your website is to convert them to leads. And when we are saying understanding the user behavior, we no longer going to be able to just do it with a very simple exit intent surveys that is for everyone. Here we need to be more precise. And what I understand by being precise is that use your analytical tools, right? Use those analytics and spot at least two areas, like funnel them down to the point of dropouts. Notice which pages generates the highest dropouts. And if you do, then start creating a funnel to identify a typical behavior of that persona that is dropping out. Maybe you will notice they are coming from a certain campaign. Maybe you'll notice that there's a certain behavior that is aggregating them together with the combo of understanding the page that is generating the highest dropouts. You can utilize a survey in that area to ask a precise question about the reason of their dropout, or maybe even better, before they're gonna actually before they're gonna close the site. This is a very good spot for you to ask a little bit more precise question. Now, what do we understand by precise question is not to ask them to formulate their own big lengthy answers. We are thinking more about something that we call here 5-star rating survey. And that is a survey that will help us to understand a couple of areas and do sort of like a sanity check for us. But okay, let me bring up that video for you really quickly, what we've got here. So you can see a very simple survey asking, hey, let's help each other, right? We've got some question about the impression, right? That's the idea. We are asking about your first impression of the site. You've spent a couple of seconds, maybe a minute or so. Tell us a little bit more about your impressions. And moving on, you can see here there's a rating question, right? And it's asking a very simple question to rate reliability of the information of the website. So we're checking if the content is in sync with the persona that we are actually targeting all our marketing efforts for. And the scale is very simple, 1 to 5, right? So we're not then, again, asking them to sit on that question for way too long. Just tell us, do you feel we are reliable in the content department, in the page department as a whole? Moving on, the follow-up question, as you can see, is how interesting is the company to you? So a very general, a very broad question, but still this question can definitely help us um, to understand if we are targeting the right persona. Again, right? If you have a high dropout, if you have a real high dropout rate, identify those personas that are dropping and ask them directly, is this interesting for you? Maybe it's not. And this is the perfect opportunity for you to spot that. So you can see here again, scale 1 to 5, and there is a bonus question that goes around the value, the price, if you will, for the service, right? So what price range do you think, like you have here, do you think the product we offer is? And you can add here, apply very different ranges depending on your industry and the product you're selling, but that will also help you to perceive how people are valuing what you are showing on the website at this very moment, right? So really, again, a crucial step to see if people perceive you as expensive, as premium, or maybe like something that is on the budget. Really, really good stuff for you to really sink your teeth in to understand if this is something that, if the persona that you're attracting and that is generating high dropout is actually the right persona at all, right? So there you have it, right? Optimizing your pages for the user behavior. Now, the final area that I wanted to talk is going to be optimizing for content, right? So to make the content relevant. And there's a personal story to that. The story is very simple, right? When we've been researching on digital marketer challenges and I got challenged with understanding the visitor to lead conversion, I took it to our marketing team and started asking them, what sort of area do you feel you are struggling right now that is the most challenging? And we actually uncovered a landing page that is talking about running an email survey that wasn't doing that well, to put it mildly, right? So what happened previously is that the marketing department really put a lot of effort into redesigning all of the landing pages to be modern, to be mobile friendly, to load instantly. So all of the steps that we talked about, the high bounce rate, we really wanted to address that. So we are removing any obstacles. And some of the pages really benefited from that, but not this one in particular. Still, the email survey landing page was struggling. So what we did, we took a deep dive into analyzing the behavior. We did what I was recommending in the chapter about optimizing for visitor behavior, and we noticed um, a certain moment when people are dropping. It was when were reviewing the content. They were closing the page around 20% when they scroll the content, the information. So yeah, that's a very clear message. There's like a red flag that something is happening there. Marketing team sat down, started to developing and formulating hypotheses, but it was just the hypothesis based on viewing a session, understanding the analytics. They needed to take it to the customer, right? To a visitor. They needed to ask the person that was engaged with our content enough to give us some feedback. So we actually did that. And here on the slides, you can see a whole journey for a user when somebody wasn't happy with the content. So again, a very simple question, right? We're starting with a question from 1 to 5. How satisfied are you with the information available on this page? And if you go with 5, if you go with 4, that's cool. I mean, we thank you for your time, and that's amazing. But if you go with lower score, okay, there is a problem, right? Let's dive deeper into the cause of that poor score. And here you can see a logic dictates that now we are asking, can you tell us what was the real issue? What's happening that you're giving us poor score? And the questions you can see here about, I don't have a software I use to send emails, it looks complicated, I wanted to send surveys from your tool, plus other reason. It's a very good practice to always add other reason because, well, people are coming from different backgrounds with different expectations. We want to give them the option to really voice that concern. But here, the questions before that, you can see those are hypotheses that a marketing team have formulated, and we wanted to really see what is the reason here. We also needed to make sure it's going to be targeted precisely at that very moment, right? It's not going to be on the display always. It's not going to be at the very bottom of the landing page. It needs to be exactly at the moment when the friction occurs, and is this 20%? So precise targeting, simple as that. And let's move to analytics. By the way, I know that Maciej will be giving you more extended view on the whole analytical analysis that we offer. But for now, just for the argument's sake, let me review that. So we received 61%, which is quite bad, right? I mean, you can argue that this is average. It's like yellow, which is, man, not bad, not terrible, not great. But the problem is that in today's day and age, 60 is like maybe 30, maybe 40. So definitely something needed to be addressed here. And also we can see here on the right, the spectrum shows that people were like 4, 5, but there was also a huge voice of 1. We got no 2s and just a few 3s. So meaning that people were really set off and put off by this whole landing page they ended up. And remember the questions we've been asking. This is the results of it, and you can see a massive results are going for the areas that they don't have a software to run email surveys, and it looks too complicated. So a lot of that energy that marketing put into optimizing for mobile, load speed, and navigation, it boils down to the point that yeah, it's good, but that the premise of your product, it's again complicated, and I don't have a software to run an email campaign that you're recommending. That's a bummer. So that is a bummer, but at least we ask our customers exactly the precise issue. So we are now optimizing for it. We're changing the copy, we're changing the messages because we now know exactly what we need to focus on. So with this real life example, I hope you can see the picture that um, ideally, when we're talking about the content, just again, like we talked before, look for the point that the article is causing friction, that people are dropping off. Formulate a hypothesis and then just simply go to your visitors, ask them exactly what's going on. And as a bonus value, as a bonus, I'm leaving you with a newsletter. There's something that I feel is way too often neglected, because in newsletter, when you're unsubscribing, there's obviously a pop-up asking you, sorry to see you go, can you tell us the reason? And from time to time in newsletter, when you're a subscriber, you're getting those messages that, hey, how do you like the content we are giving you? And that is all fine and great. I mean, please do that. But are you really gauging into your visitors that's supposed to become a newsletter subscriber? I will argue that a lot of companies are not doing that. So you can use the information from customers unsubscribing and the current newsletter subscribers. That's great. But you have to know people, again, are coming from different backgrounds, that trends do change. And to stay on top of trends, you need to ask people that are willing to subscribe, but they might be hesitant because they are not really certain if you offer them enough value for their time. And obviously, time is money. So what we've got here, again, bringing you a very quick video on checking for content in reference to newsletter, right? So right here, you can see a very simple question: what type of content would you like to receive from us, with multiple choice answers? And the answers are, you can see here, we're talking about the product, we're talking about the educational content, we're talking about webinars. So everything that your product is focusing around, you can ask that right here. Or again, give the other option, so somebody can say, can input something that you haven't thought of, but they might be seeing as a very good value in a newsletter. The follow-up question is, how often would you like to receive in your inboxes? Now, newsletters come in different shape and sizes. Could be monthly, could be weekly, could be daily. So obviously, knowing the latest trends and the latest expectations of your visitors. That also plays a major role to drive that conversion to a newsletter sign-up. So asking them once a week, maybe once a month, maybe even never, also as you see here. And just to finish it off, we got here an open text. Feel free to share what topics you'd like to explore more in the nearest future. And again, this is an open question. Obviously, you might say, hey, Tom, you said don't go with open questions. But here, it's quite important, because how else will you give your customers an option to just give you a little bit more information on the content they would like to see, right? So again, here it's an exception of that rule. Open-ended question. Let people comment about what they would like to see in terms of topic, etc., etc. So, guys, there you have it, right? And to be honest with you, I know we just scratched the surface, right? This is the topic about converting visitors to leads is a wide one. It's a really big one. So, if you're interested in exploring some other examples other than I tackled today, go check my LinkedIn profile. There is an article that I shared recently called "How to Increase the Lead Conversion with Surveys." And that is the article that covers some other areas, some other topics, but still it's all around making your visitors convert to leads as a easy process, and boosting that process first and foremost. And I want to leave you with the final thoughts here before I'm going to give Mike back to Maciej. I'd like you to think about surveys as a way to gather information, give voice to the customer, but it's not going to be ultimately solving all of your problems, all of your challenges. It's more one of the tools in your toolbox for digital marketer to be used and really get the full picture, right? You're probably having all other tools, all other assets to have a better understanding about the visitors, pain points, issues, landing pages. But asking your visitors directly, asking them, hey, what can we do to do good by you? Or what can we do to improve? Or maybe what do you don't like? It's always an extra value that gives you a full picture, and ultimately obviously helps you to solve for the challenge of low conversion rate. But that's it from me. I want to thank you again from having me here. Maciej, the floor is yours. Thank you, everyone.
All right, Tom, thank you for that awesome presentation. And with the information that we've just gathered, I think it's a perfect way to help us go into this next part. So you've gathered your feedback. Now what? Let's go over the ways you can actually analyze and prioritize all of this information. Right off the bat, I'm just going to say that it's a great idea to segregate and analyze quantitative and qualitative data. Essentially, it's going to help you understand both the what and the why, right? So in this scenario, the quantitative data is the what. It's the data that gives you measurable metrics to identify trends, patterns, and areas of improvement in your conversion process. So basically, it's all about answering questions like what is the overall conversion rate of your landing page, or what is the bounce rate of your landing page, even what is the average time spent on this page, for example. And then we take our qualitative data, the why. This information is focused more on the subjective insights, right? They provide you with a deeper understanding of user behavior, their motivations, and so on. Tom actually gave us some cool examples during his presentation. You probably noticed this as well. And of course, enter surveys. Uh, Surveys are incredibly effective at helping you gather qualitative feedback at scale because, as you've learned, you can design targeted surveys that ask users about their experiences or preferences and suggestions for improvement when it comes to your landing page, right? This means you get a chance to explore and dive right into finding out about their pain points, their intent, which will help you tailor future content and design elements to meet customer needs and expectations. And once you've got all this wonderful data, make sure to organize it in a way where you can identify common themes and issues right away. brought up by the users, for example, right? Maybe you found that a lot of your visitors have found the navigation to be awkward and weird. That's not good. But it's a good indication that you should definitely start working towards addressing that as soon as possible. Apart from that, when considering which feedback you should be prioritizing, take a look at the direct impact it may have on your landing page's conversion rate. Try to focus on fixing critical issues right off the bat. So, this could mean things like long load times, as Tom mentioned earlier, or even things like broken links, anything technical. Address it as soon as you can, and then you can work your way down. Now, I thought it'd also be a good opportunity right now to take this time to show you how we handle that in Survicate. I have a sample that I want to show you how you can actually start analyzing and prioritizing all of this information. So please bear with me. I'm going to share my screen, which means I'll turn off my screen here for just 1 second. Okay. So here's our little sample in Survicate to give you a better understanding. And basically, you are met with this screen when you enter the Analyze tab of your surveys, meaning you've put out your surveys, you've gathered some feedback, and then this is your chance to kind of look over all of that information in one place. So you can see here we've got lots of responses, awesome. And what we want to focus on here is the qualitative data, as mentioned in the presentation. Uh, yeah, we got all of this wonderful information. We've got pages and pages of text answers from our wonderful respondents. So, a great way to get a better interpretation of all of this data is to use our word cloud feature. And we just click on that. Okay. And if you aren't familiar with this feature, basically it's a visual representation of the most common used words within a given context. So, the more often it's used, the bigger it is in the word cloud, giving you an idea of what you should be focusing on first, right? In this example, you can see the question here. Uh, all of the all of this pertains to this question, which is there anything we could improve for you, right? And you can see the most frequent words used within the thousands and thousands of responses we've gotten. You can imagine using our earlier scenario. We ask a similar question on our landing page, and we're met with words like maybe, I don't know, navigation or broken link or loading. And you can start like this by prioritizing what to focus on immediately. You can, of course, go through all the different responses individually as well, should you need to. Yeah. So that's just one of the ways to tackle that. Let's get back to the presentation. I'll see you in 1 second. Okay, and I'm back again. And with all of this information, don't forget to continuously monitor customer feedback. Simply put, creating a badass landing page is an ongoing process, and it's important to monitor feedback to ensure that your page remains effective at converting your visitors, because that's what we're ultimately working towards here, right? Uh, Trends and preferences are constantly changing. And when you're on top of the data, it means you're ready to adapt and ensure that your landing page keeps on converting visitors on a consistent basis, right? Consistency is key here. Yeah. All right. I think that's about all of the information that we've got for you today. So, how about we head into the Q&A and answer some questions? Let's do this, Tom. Let me just get this slide up here. Is it up? There we go. All right. Actually, Tom, before we get into the Q&A, I wanted to take this time to mention our awesome Black Friday deal that's happening right now until it's active until I believe November 30th. And basically, if you buy a yearly Survicate subscription or switch to one, you get an additional month for free. That's right. All you got to do is enter the secret code in our website chat or email our support team with that secret code, and you'll be good to go. Now, for everybody listening, the secret code is feedback is the new black.
So get let's do hot for more information on this deal, or if you simply have some questions regarding how all of it works, feel free to reach out to us whenever. All right, let's take those questions. Looky here, Tom. Looks like we don't have any questions, and that could mean we either blew everyone's mind and they're still collecting their brain off the floor, or we simply answered their questions throughout this webinar, which is also great.
Might be. Yeah.
I came up with some questions just in case.
Fire away. Fire away.
Okay. I can't hear your microphone, Tom. Yeah.
You cannot? Hold on. It should be working. What about now?
Nope.
Still with you? What about now?
Nope. Okay. I guess, yeah, there it is. Okay, so this is my question for you. It's something I was thinking about while you were discussing the project you were working on earlier. If you were to do the landing page research today, based on the previous project, what would you recommend to the audience? What are the potential mistakes they could encounter?
Yeah, that's a good question. And well, I'll be honest. Obviously, the biggest issue for us over at Survicate was that we jumped into assumptions, and we started to implement some changes along the way before we actually started investigating that directly through survey to our visitors, right? So if you guys struggling with certain page, right? If you're struggling with a landing page that is not converting, before you're going to do anything, and I know it's pretty tempting to just pull all your resources into redesign, rechecking, remodeling, draw a hypothesis, look at the analytical tools, right? The topic that we mentioned at the beginning, in the middle, that middle example, look at your analytical tool, look at which persona and at what point people are mostly dropping off, right? And from that point, start formulating a hypothesis. What is really causing that issue? Draw a few of those points, and with this example, take it directly to your visitors, right? Target a survey accordingly. And this is also a trial and error kind of a situation, right? The first survey might collect small batch of feedback, which might not be super impactful. That's okay. You can rechange the survey campaign to launch it in a little bit different shape and form, maybe with a different targeting. But mostly, do not give up. As long as people are commenting on your feedback, that's good. The way you can make it good from the very beginning is, I'd say, come up with a hypothesis and try to either reinforce it or just neglect that hypothesis through visitors' feedback. So that's a long topic, right? We can sit here and talk with multiple examples, but I think to take it out from it is just to make sure that you can at least come up with a hypothesis which can be confirmed or denied based on your audience. There we go, Maciek. Thank you. And we've got a question here. How do we technically implement such a survey? You're on WooCommerce. Okay.
All right. Yeah, we live and learn, right? Let's see. What's the other question that I wanted to ask you before we get to, I see we have somebody in the chat. Okay, we'll get to that in like 1 minute. I wanted to ask you, what would you recommend to increase response rate to bounce rate surveys, right? I'm thinking right off the top of my head, I'm thinking that the surveys need to be clear, not filled with too many questions, right? Nobody wants to be bombarded with too many questions, but what else?
Good one. Definitely try with just one question. As mentioned in this presentation, it's more to give you a ballpark of where the issue lies rather than answer and uncover that directly. So as far as questions goes, give them a wide range of answers, which are also easy to understand, right? If you're jumping on a page and you, so there's a pop-up, but doesn't matter. So when you're jumping on a page, and you're, for example, e-commerce, just make sure that the questions will be revolving around your product. If you're a SaaS, make sure that the questions and answer will be revolving around that topic. finally, lastly, make that survey stand out, right? When I say stand out, first, remove any obstacles. If you want to do such a research, make sure there is no pop-up at the exit intent asking you to subscribe to a newsletter or anything like that with a promotional code. That's just going to be noise, which again, people will get numbed and will forget about it. Make sure it's clean. When you're about to close the page, you can easily cover the background, make sure it's going to be standing out, do some colors, do some images, anything to draw the attention of a respondent. And with this attention being drawn to a survey, to a pop-up, ask a precise question, which very easy answers to pick, right? So that would be my best example how you can improve that. Still, it's not going to be a huge number. We can see here throughout our customers like 1, 2, 3, 5% if you're lucky. But overall, even one voice, even a dozen of voices among 1,000 is definitely a good way to understand that where the issue may lie. There you go.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's just go into the next question here. Tomek, maybe you can answer this one. How do we technically implement such a survey? I am on WooCommerce. Is there a plugin? Thank you, AL, for the question.
Yeah,
I think you're going to love this question, Tomek.
Yeah. Okay, so there are a couple of ways you can go with Survicate. Do we have a plugin for WooCommerce? I don't recall, but we have a very easy way to install it with either Google Tag Manager. I assume you might be using that. If not, there's obviously a snippet of a code which you can easily input onto a site. And also it's a lightweight, right? So it's not going to be slowing down your page. It's the package is very light. With that said, is there anything else that I can add to this technical implementation part? Well, it's a set it and forget it kind of a situation. So it's not that you need to implement it for each and every page. It's just you set it once on the main page, and then from Survicate you can easily select which page you want to target, which conditions you want to apply to that, so that, again, the technical part is done only once. I'm going to press that button. Now, question here.
Awesome. Yeah, very, very good. So, yeah, I think that about wraps it up for today. I think we can put a ribbon on it. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Elul, for the moderating the chat. Thank you all for your questions, meaning AL. Thank you so much. As a reminder, I will be sending out a recording of this webinar session to everyone that signed up today. So be on the lookout for that. And if you enjoyed this webinar, we've got more coming for you. In fact, I'm doing another webinar next week. Where I'll basically take you through creating engaging and awesome surveys that help you gather more responses and stuff like that. So feel free to sign up. We actually have a webinar page now on our page that will show you all the different things we've got coming up. So feel free to check that out as well. You can register for upcoming ones, view old ones. Wonderful stuff. And yeah, that does it for us. If you have any questions, remember, you can always email us or write to us on chat. We're happy to help. We're happy to talk. Our support team rocks. They always love to talk. They always help out when needed. So go ahead and do that. And yeah, that's it for my end. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and see you on the next one.
Cheers, everyone. Have a good one.
Take care.